A crisp night in Cincinnati as we cruise up the Ohio River to beautiful Riverfront Stadium as we get ready for Game 2 of the 1976 World Series. The American League champions, the New York Yankees, versus the National League champions, the Cincinnati Reds. And now the fans are streaming in. It looks like another packed house, which is not unusual for Riverfront Stadium on this crisp night in Cincinnati. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Garagiola, along with Tony Kubek and Marty Brenneman. We'll be describing the action for Game 2 of this World Series. And if you're wondering about the mood before the game, it really depends on who you ask. Ask a Cincinnati fan, they're talking about sweep. The Yankee fan, he says if we can split and go back to Yankee Stadium, we'll be all right. One thing for sure, the cliches are out. They always are out before the World Series. Before the first game, it's always anything can happen in a short series. Before Game 2, like tonight, well, we'll play them one game at a time. For sure, it's too early to be talking about backs against the wall and no tomorrow and a must game and a key game, especially a key game because they're all key games. Winning a World Series, I tell you, is like eating peanuts. I never saw a guy just eat one peanut. If you win one World Series game, you want to win them all. What is the mood in the Cincinnati clubhouse? Well, Marty Brenneman was there. Marty, what about it after that game? It was pretty methodical, but they had some news about Don Gullett that wasn't good.
Joe, there was certainly no outpouring of jubilation over winning game number one. This club has been here before. They know that one game does not a series make, so to speak. As for Don Gullett now, there was great concern over the loss of a young man who has been so hard hit physically. As you got to look here at what transpired yesterday, he had a dislocated tendon. This ball club was concerned about losing him, but does not feel that will affect the ultimate outcome of this World Series. As for me, if this series should go past 4 games, I think it might get a little bit interesting due to the loss of Don Gullett.
Okay, we hear from Marty Brenneman. How about Tony Kubek, who is down there talking to Billy Martin? He spoke to him early. Here's what he had to say.
Billy, you made the statement that your ball club was not up for the first game of the World Series. What are you going to do to get them up for today's ball game?
Well, I think they'll get themselves up, Tony. I'll have a little meeting with them after we hit. But, you know, after a dramatic finish that we had at home there winning the playoffs and coming to the World Series, it's kind of hard to keep that going all the time.
You're going to give them a fiery pep talk just before the game?
Oh, not so much that, Tony. Just the fact that we're here now, we're representing the American League, and let's do like we can really do.
What about the Cincinnati Reds? They're a good ball club. They're a great ball club, many people say. Have you been impressed by them?
Well, they're a good ball club. There's no question about it. But I'm not that impressed like everybody else is with them. I don't think they're that awesome. They're a fine club. They do a lot of things well. I think in the long run, the pitching is going to show that it can't hold up against us.
Well, pitching, Catfish Hunter's been the best money pitcher in baseball for a lot of years. He's been through this before. He is pitching, though, really, with 3 days rest. Most of the season, you've got a 5-man rotation. What will that affect him?
Well, he says he likes to pitch every 4th day, so we'll just see if this is true. I pitched him that way this year because of the hot months, Tony. I went on a 5-man rotation. Now he'd like this cool weather. He should be a little stronger.
Billy, you'd obviously like to go back home to Yankee Stadium with a split. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Tony.
So now go back upstairs.
Okay, Tony and Billy. Well, he's impressed by them, but he's not awed by them. We'll be going down to the field for player introductions and our national anthem right after this message.
Welcome to Riverfront Stadium for the second game of the 1976 World Series. Here are the official lineups. First, the American League champions, the New York Yankees. Here is the manager of the American League champions, number 1, Billy Martin. Batting first in center field, number 17, Mickey Rivers. Batting second in left field, number 6, Roy White. Batting third, the catcher and Yankee captain, number 15, Thurman Munson. Batting fourth in right field, number 14, Lou Piniella. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 10, Chris Chambliss. Batting sixth, playing third base, number 9, Greg Nettles. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 27, Elliot Maddox. Batting eighth, playing second base, number 30, Willie Randolph. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 11, Fred Stanley. The pitcher warming up in the bullpen, number 29, Jim Catfish Hunter. And the rest of the New York Yankees. Now for the National League champions, the Cincinnati Reds. Here is the manager of the National League champions, number 10, Sparky Anderson. Batting first, playing third base, the Reds captain, number 14, Pete Rose. Batting second in right field, number 30, Ken Griffey. Batting third, playing second base, number 8, Joe Morgan. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 24, Tony Perez. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 22, Danny Dreesen. Batting sixth in left field, number 15, George Buster. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 5, Johnny Bench. Batting eighth in center field, number 20, Cesar Geronimo. Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 13, Dave Concepcion. The pitcher warming up in the bullpen, number 32, Fred Norman. And the rest of the Cincinnati Reds. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem will be sung by one of America's most popular entertainers, Della Reese. And now to honor America, will you please join in the singing of our national anthem?
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The lovely Della Reese, and you Della Reese fans will be able to see her as she has a recurring role on NBC's Chico and the Man every Friday at 8:30 Eastern Time. Della Reese. Now, NBC will bring you the second game of the World Series following the ceremonial first pitch right after this message.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now direct your attention to Commissioner Kuhn's box, situated at the home plate side of the Reds dugout, where the ceremonial first pitch will be thrown out by a man who hit 210 home runs in his major league career and hit .333 for the Reds against the Yankees in the 1961 World Series, Wally Post.
And he could throw when he played. And Tony and Marty, I must say, I'm starting to feel old. I saw him break in and played against him.
But I played against him, too.
I want to ask you, when are they ever going to ask a 250 hitter to throw out the first ball? The Spear Terriers. What a ball player he was. Might add, as Del Reese was walking off, she was escorted by Brooks Lawrence, who was a great pitcher with the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals, Marty.
And inducted this season, Joe, into the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame.
So we're getting set for Game 2, the 1976 World Series, as the Reds take the field. Fred Norman is the pitcher for Cincinnati. Here are the umpires for today's game as they gather around home plate. Behind the plate, the American League, Lou DeMuro. First base, Billy Williams, National League. Bill Deegan's at second base. Bruce Fleming is at third base. Left field, Davey Phillips. And right field, Lee Wire. Those are the umpires. Tony, I'm kind of curious to see about this change in the strike zone, maybe. We've got an American League umpire behind the plate. Yesterday, Lee Wire from the National League as they continue to alternate.
Freddie Norman, Marty, and I know you can help us out a lot because you've seen him pitch. He appears to have a lot of pitches. He's got a couple different kinds of screwballs, a curveball, a slider, a good straight change, and he doesn't throw hard, except that when you start looking for the off-speed stuff, it makes his fastball look that much faster. He did have the tops on your staff this year, strikeouts, 11 in one ball game.
That he did, Tony, and I think the thing that people have to remember about Freddie Norman, there was a stretch maybe 6-7 weeks during the season in June and July when he had it all together, and he was probably at that point in the season the best pitcher in the National League. Freddie Norman gets into trouble when he starts to think too much, when he tries to get cute, nibble at the corners, and at that point his control takes a hike on him and normally gets into deep trouble.
Freddie Norman, who often has had control problems, has not pitched for 2.5 weeks. Statistics, his last 5 starts from September 7, he had an 0-3 record, a 6.75 earned run average. His last victory was on August 27th. He beat the Phillies 4-1. In the World Series, he started the 4th game of the 75 World Series at Cincinnati. He lost 5-4, pitching 3 1/3 innings. A much better home record than a road record since joining the Reds during '73. Freddie Norman. Johnny Bench's throw goes down to second base, and Pete Rose starts to creep in already on Mickey Rivers, who'll be leading off for the Yankees. There you see Rose, who challenged him, and the Cincinnati defense is as much as said, Mickey, you're not going to bunt. You're going to have to hit it by me. Rose may be even in a step closer than he was yesterday. Look how close he is. Here comes the first pitch of the game. Center field, Geronimo. Griffey, Geronimo takes charge, and Rivers is out. This game is authorized under television rights granted by Major League Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience. In any publication, reproduction, retransmission for commercial, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the commissioner is prohibited. 1 pitch, 1 out, and here is Roy White. Roy White hit the ball hard yesterday. He was 1 for 4, but Pete Rose took, well, 1 base hit and a half a base hit away from him. I say that because, remember, he deflected the ball to Concepcion. He made a great play. There's the strike.
Yankee ball players felt they hit Cincinnati pitching better yesterday than Cincinnati hit Yankee pitching. They thought they had a lot more balls harder.
One ball and 1 strike, and the oohs and the ahs go up. Broken bat. Morgan chasing it, makes the play.
Right there is where the Cincinnati Ball Club does not get enough credit for their speed. They always talk about their speed first to third, scoring from second base on a single, but defensively they take a lot of hits away. That was 1.
Norman hit White right on the thumbs, and on a night like tonight, the temperature at game time was 43. And if you want to do one thing on a cold night to the batters is hit them on the thumbs or at the end of the bat, and the feeling that you get, and Tony, I think you'll agree, is like putting your finger in a light socket.
Doesn't feel good. The pitcher definitely has an advantage a night like tonight.
you're not too anxious to get back up there to hit. Here is Munson. He was 1 for 4 yesterday rather. First ball hitting, high fly ball. Griffey taking charge. Makes the play, 3 up and 3 down. So as we go into the bottom of the first inning, there is no score. Hunter taking his warm-up tosses. In 76, he was 17 and 15. He had a string of 5 consecutive 20-win seasons snapped in 76, winning 17. He has won 128 games in his last 6 years, averaging 21 wins per year. This is his 6th World Series start and his 8th series game. He has a 4-0 record in series competition. He won 2 games in 72, 1 game each in 73 and 74. Oddly enough, he has pitched no complete games in his 5 previous series starts. Against Pete Rose, who yesterday was 0 for 2. First ball, left field. Roy White goes back, has room. 1 out. Tony, they're hitting like they're either cold or double parked.
You know, I was talking to Thurman Munson about catfish, and everybody this time he has not had a great hunter year. But I asked Munson what makes him great, and he said his terrific command of the strike zone with all of his pitches when he's on. Billy Martin told us before the ball game he is used to pitching with 4 days rest. He's had 3. He's had arm problems. Had a great first game against Kansas City and got knocked out the second time he faced them.
Here is Griffey. Takes inside, ball 1. I thought Hall of Famer coach Bob Lemon said it best. That even when he doesn't throw good, he pitches good. And there is a difference between throwing and pitching. A lot of throwers. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's the part of the strike zone that Catfish Hunter controls when he is right. Down, low, and away, no matter if you're a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter. He can keep it away from you. You're going to hit him, you're going to hit some singles. Has great control. Rarely walks anyone.
Left center field, deep. White going back. He's taking charge, makes the play. 2 up and 2 down. Freddie Norman made 5 pitches to retire the Yankees in the first. And Cincinnati, they're jumping on those early pitches. Here's Joe Morgan.
I think this will be an interesting confrontation, Joe, because even if Hunter keeps the ball away, Morgan can pull the ball. And if Joe can pull him and the big guys get up, look out.
They are really overshifted, I think, on Joe Morgan. They're way over. Goes at the first pitch, strike 1. Rivers is way over in right center field. A lot of room down the left field line. And you could see what Munson was doing. If they're going to shift like they are, look at Rivers way over in right center. And Stanley way over and Roy White way over. They're going to pitch him inside and make him pull. Fouls it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody on, no score. Second game of the World Series. Inside, 2 and 2. Line drive, base hit, center field, right to Rivers. And now we're going to have a little battle, I got to believe. Morgan, who likes to take that lead with both feet on that artificial surface to challenge him. We're liable to see something, Tony. Marty?
Joe says he wants to see one thing off any pitcher he's never faced before when he's on base. 1 throw home, 1 move to first base, and he said, with all of my experience, I then have him figured out.
Marty, Morgan definitely believes nobody can get him. Some give him more trouble.
Well, I think that's a feeling that he's always had, Joe. As Tony pointed out, he's a tremendous student of the ball, of the game of baseball.
There he goes. First pitch. Not in time. That, my friends, was a commercial by the Cincinnati Reds.
3 hours before the ball game today, a lot of the Reds base stealers, as we see Morgan coming right at us, they were watching films of Hunter.
Tony, the interesting thing is he gets a good jump, but not once does he look towards the plate. His head is looking towards second.
He said his goal is second base, or anytime he's stealing, if the base he's heading for, no sense looking away, I might break stride.
Tony Perez, 1 ball, 1 strike. That's Joe Morgan's 5th series steal. He had 2 in each of his previous 2 series. No score. Morgan at second. Good fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And there's a look at the Perez family. Youngsters come out in that Cincinnati red outfit, and they're playing baseball all the time. Patuca, you did a baseball world show with her. Lovely lady. It's 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Nettles taking charge. Makes the play. That ends the inning. So the score at the end of an inning, Yankees nothing, Cincinnati nothing. Top of the 2nd inning, and it'll be Lou Piniella, who's playing right field tonight. Yesterday he was the designated hitter. As we look at Billy Martin, boy, he was taking some heat with that walkie-talkie business. Walkie-talkie talk, he's Yankee 1. Bench says he's a sidewinder.
Billy right now is talking to the left field foul line umpire, Davey Phillips, in a very friendly fashion at this point.
Which comes under the heading of news. Lou Piniella was 1 for 3 yesterday. Long way from that plate, but he strides into the ball. Ball 1. No score. Ball 2. Freddie Norman averages, or he did in 1976, 3.5 walks per inning. For 9 innings, not per inning. Boy. 2 balls and a strike.
Piniella, a very good hitter when he's ahead on the count. He can look for his pitch. He guesses an awful lot.
It'll be a tough play for Concepcion. He's got it, but can't make the throw. It'll go as a base hit. He showed you some range.
Was playing very deep for Piniella. He was playing him up the middle, actually. In the book, I understand, has Piniella as a full hitter. He threw him a breaking ball down and in, and that's when Pinella's good, when he can guess on the pitch.
So the Yankees have their first base hit. Pinella's on, and here is Chris Chambliss. He was 1 for 3. 293, 17 home runs, 96 runs batted in. Ball 1.
Reds not bothering to hold Piniella too close at first base. Perez off the bag, and then he'll creep back even farther.
Tony, Freddie Norman a little bit upset over the fact that he did not get a strike call out of that pitch from the American League umpire Lou DeMuro, and now Joe Morgan has gone to the mound to try and settle Freddie down, and that might go back to, Joe, what you were talking about earlier, the difference in the strike zone between the 2 leagues.
There is Lou DeMuro behind the plate. Tony, how about it? You were in the American League, and
I don't think there's any doubt about it. It depends upon individual umpires, too, really. Some are high ball umpires, some are low ball umpires, and I do believe you get more of a high strike in the American League than the National League. And they might take some low pitches away from you, American League umpires. But that's an individual thing.
2 balls and no strikes on Chambliss. Ball 3. 3 of the umpires are in their first series. Deegan, Fleming, and Phillips, and 3 are in their second series. DeMuro, Williams, and Wire. Dick Hauser at third base. May turn him loose. There's the strike. Former National League umpire Al Barlick. Saw him today. All the baseball people here.
Norman with not a good move to first base.
Piniella holding. Strike 2. Piniella had 1 steal in 74, none in 75, none in 76. So you got to believe that he's holding. Norman against Chambliss, strike out and throw him out.
Don't know. He makes pretty good contact.
He's got to be holding for me. Well hit, center field. Geronimo makes the play, and Piniella heads back first.
I know one thing, Joe and Marty, if Norman continues to pitch from behind on the Yankee hitters, they are a good hitting ball club. And if he pitches from behind, 3-1, 2-0, 2-1, he's going to get hurt sooner or later.
There's a guy in that batter's box now that is as good a cripple shooter as there is. Greg Nettles had 32 home runs to lead the American League. He was 0 for 3. All the outs so far in the ball game, both sides in the air. You got both pitchers known as low ball pitchers. High fly ball, left field. George Foster, plenty of room. Pinella's gonna, whoops, gave it a false start. Saw the throw come in, and back he came. 2 outs, no score.
Lou thought he might catch one of the outfielders from Cincinnati asleep. But they get the ball back in. They don't make any mistakes out there. Get it back very quickly. Morgan was very alert. He's the guy who was yelling. And get it in here quickly.
2 men out. Here is Elliot Maddox, who is the designated hitter. Maddox 1 for 2 yesterday. Right, fastball. Piniella at first. No score. One ball and 1 strike, a screwball.
Marty, when Norman has his wild streak, do they usually come early in the game, or can they come anytime during the game?
Tony, they can come absolutely anytime. He had a couple of games this season where he'd go into the 5th or 6th inning having given up maybe a hit or 2 without walking anybody, and all of a sudden, for some unexplainable reason, his control would completely take a hike on him.
Foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No score. We're in the top half of the 2nd inning. Good shot of the field and the crowd here at Riverfront. Game 2. Game 1 was won by Cincinnati 5-1. Billy Martin talking to Tony Kubek. There you see him before the game. Said he was impressed but not awed by the Cincinnati Reds. Maddox is out on strikes. That ends the inning, so we go to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Yankees nothing, Cincinnati nothing. As we look at the official National League box, there you see Bob Howsam, Cincinnati in a dark coat. 2 people over, Chubb Feeney, National League president, man in the dark suit, Commissioner Kuhn, Mrs. Kuhn, and former Commissioner Happy Chandler. Far left of your screen, behind him, former National League president Warren Giles, and a happy fan saying hi to everybody. Here is Danny Dreesen, designated hitter. No, it's a strike.
Didn't take him long as the first day in the designated hitter to find a new way to keep loose. He was jumping in and out of the sauna yesterday.
During the game?
I guess. He said today he may go underneath the stands and have somebody throw a couple of pitches. They've got an enclosed cage just to stay loose.
Well hit. Way back. Center field. Rivers gives it a chase. Can't get it off the wall. Dreesen has 2 and he stopped. A long double for Danny Dreesen.
I don't care how good a center fielder you are, you do not dare, when you're in the outfield, any of the Cincinnati Reds batters to hit the ball over your head. And that's what Rivers has been doing. Kansas City has a good hitting team. Rivers dared them. Here comes Mickey right at you in our center field camera. He has speed. He can outrun mistakes. He's turned out to be an excellent outfielder. But this club's got too much power on artificial surface to play them that shallow. They don't beat you over your head. They're going to beat you in the alleys with extra base hits.
That was Danny Dreesen's first World Series hit. He's on at second. Here is George Foster. Foster was 2 for 3 in yesterday's game. He led the National League in runs batted in with 121 in 76. Outside, ball one. Catfish loses his cap. I'm sure you saw Don Gullett go out with his team in the introductions. Gullett, leg in a cast as we see Johnny Bench, the on-deck batter. Ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. 1 man on, no score.
So they're giving Danny Dreesen down at second base, who has excellent speed, a lot of room. Stanley's way over in the hole. Randolph's not holding him too close.
Did he go around? No, says DeMuro. 3 balls and no strikes. Sparky turns him loose on 3-0, Marty.
Especially this man, Joe. He's had a tremendous season for the Reds, and the heavy hitters in this Reds lineup get the green light many times.
He took a fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike. Sparky Anderson. Base hit, center field. Here comes Dreesen around third. He'll score. Cincinnati leads 1-0.
3 balls, 1 strike. The catfish went to a slider. Foster was looking for it.
George Foster gives Cincinnati the lead here in the bottom half of the first inning. Nobody out. And there's Foster. Johnny Bench is the hitter. Bench was 2 for 3 yesterday. Time is called as Foster. Something with his hands. He must have hit on the end of the bat. When you're strong, you're strong. Hit on the end of the bat and hit a line drive. The last guy did that was a Jolly Green Giant.
I got a feeling that might have been an excuse, too, to go over and talk to Nixon to see what the sign was. Sparky's going to run him.
There he goes. Here's the throw. They got a shot. They got him. Foster is out with Randolph covering.
Foster has stolen some bases, but watch the quick release, not only by Hunter, but watch Thurman. He knew he had a little bit more time, so he came more over the top, Joe. Look at that. His ball didn't ride as much that time.
Gave him a good ball to handle and a good tag. Randolph was right in front of that bag, Tony, waiting for it. Many times it's an unoccupied base you're throwing to with the Yankees, but not that time. Look at Munson, catch it like he's been doing that all his life. 2 balls and 1, no strikes. Left center. This one could be extra bases. There goes Bench around first. It'll be a double.
Here's Bench. He's been swinging the bat well. One of the things Sparky asked his team after yesterday's ball game was to be more aggressive at the plate. He did not feel, even though they won 5-1, they were really going out attacking the ball. Not wasting any time today, though.
Johnny Bench with a double. 1 run is in. Dreesen opened the inning with a double. Foster drove him in. Foster was out stealing, and now Bench is just doubled. Here is Geronimo. Ball 1. Geronimo was 1 for 3, and Billy Martin comes out to talk to Catfish Hunter.
While Martin goes out, they start acting up down in the bullpen for the Yankees. Grant Jackson, the left-hander. He pitched well, a couple of starting assignments in September. Hunter, with that arm problem, most of the year, a shoulder problem, has had some cortisone shots, which he feels has helped him.
Billy told you before the game that he was looking forward to pitching this game because it was shorter rest for him.
I think Billy was saying that. I don't know if he meant it. I think he'd like to have gotten that extra day's rest for him.
Geronimo. Ball 2. Wants a new baseball. One nothing, Cincinnati leading. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. 3-0. First base is open. Concepcion is the next batter. But again, Sparky Anderson turns everybody loose. Let's see. 3-0. Brother, when you got an 8th place hitter and they let you hit 3-0, I can't remember a ball club because I did a lot of 8th place hitting. And they'd give you the take sign 3-2. Here's the Geronimo family. Daddy's up there with the count of 3 balls and 1 strike. Fouled off again. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. One man out, 1 run in. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Cesar Geronimo. Ball 4, he walked him. First base on balls given up by Catfish. Yankee bench, Yogi Berra, Billy Martin, Dick Hauser. There's Yogi lining them up straight down the middle as Billy Martin looks on.
together, Joe. They try and set the hitters up with the off-speed stuff, a screwball here and there, a lot of off-speed stuff, and that makes Norman's fastball look so much better.
Here he comes. Ball four, draws the base on balls. That's the first walk given up by Freddie Norman. It brings up Mickey Rivers with one man out. Cincinnati leading 3-0 in the top of the third. Rivers led the Yankees in batting, .312. Way outside, ball one.
Rivers is just staring Pete Rose down at third base. He's got to take a couple shots in that direction.
Down the left field line, Foster's coming over, may have a play. No, he doesn't. Pete Rose is in tight at third, near the line, and George Foster in left field is over towards the line. They play Rivers as if he were a right-hand pull hitter. There you see Rose. Far in he is, and over. And Foster is near the line in left field.
It's an unusually quiet Cincinnati crowd, isn't it?
Except when those Reds are batting. Foul straight back. If Rivers hits a one-hopper to Foster in left field, he may have a play on Stanley at second base. What do you think of that?
He might.
That's how far over and how close he is. There you see him. He is really guarding the line. Bouncing ball. Perez will take the play himself, and he does. Stanley moves to second. 2 outs.
Been watching Geronimo in center field in the last half inning, Marty. He is interesting to watch. Even when a guy doesn't hit the ball, if he fouls it off, he's in motion. He has a good idea of that strike zone, of course. He sees it very clearly from the center field spot. If the ball is away from a left-hand hitter, sometimes on the swing, he'll be breaking toward left center field.
He, of course, has gained credit, I guess, over the last couple of years, Tony, as being one of the finest defensive center fielders in baseball. And people here in Cincinnati feel like he doesn't get his just due because of the fact that more often than not, he makes things look too routine.
Well, his peer group respects him. They voted him a few gold gloves.
That they have.
Here's Roy White. High, ball one. White popped to the second baseman his first time up. Cincinnati leading 3-0. We're at the top of the third. Little looper. Joe Morgan waits for it, makes the play. That ends the inning, so we go to the bottom of the third inning. Cincinnati 3, New York nothing. And there you see a picture of what is now old Crosley Field. What used to be. There's nothing there now. And the first night game was played May 24th, 1935. The Reds beat the Phillies 2-1. And here we are tonight, Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. First Sunday night game in the World Series. And we find Cincinnati leading 3-0 in the bottom of the third. And here's Perez. Right on that outside corner. There's where he likes to put the ball. Put it there and he'll make broadcasters out of a lot of hitters. Just missed. Munson didn't think so. 1 ball, 1 strike. Missing outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
The defensive lineup, Marty, surprised me right here.
Line drive, right field. Base hit for Perez. They were pitching him outside, and he went that way.
2 balls and 1 strike. Hunter stayed outside. Tony went with it. Like a pretty good pitch for a guy to get a line drive hit off. That'll show the amount of strength that Perez has.
I tell you, hit that with a half a body.
Wow.
Here is Dreesen inside. It's ball 1. Cincinnati 3 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Yankees no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. We're in the bottom of the 3rd.
Chambliss playing behind Perez. Remember yesterday, Sparky started him.
Dreesen fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dreesen doubled his first time up. Came in to score the first Cincinnati run when George Foster singled to center field. There you see Chambliss behind Perez.
Joe, I think Sparky had an interesting reason why he started Perez yesterday.
Out of play.
And as a catcher, I wonder how this might affect you. He said, I started him for one reason, knowing that if I start all the guys in my club, even though he's a slow runner, I'm going to get my hitters more fastballs. Is that what you'd do?
I wouldn't. No, I don't believe that. I think that his thinking was if I start the man who's considered one of the slower guys and he makes it, then they got the message. I think it was strictly a commercial. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There you see Tidrow, the right-hander on the left side, the right-hander, and Grant Jackson is the left-hander. Two pitch. Outside, 3-2. I don't think Munson ever will become a safety first catcher.
I asked Thurman that, and he said,
No way.
If our pattern is to go breaking balls on a guy, we're sticking with a pattern. I don't care how many bases they steal.
That's right.
You've got to get the guy with his bat in his hand.
3-2. Let's see if Perez is going to be a strike him out, throw him out. There he goes. Bouncing ball. Hunter has to cover. Not in time. Or did he miss the bag? See how they call it. At any rate, Dreesen is safe at first. Perez is at second. Nobody out.
That's one thing Hunter usually does very well is get over to cover the bag. But Dreesen from the left side has excellent speed and catch the stead. He missed the bag. Good call by Billy Williams, the first base umpire. He was right on it.
It's a base hit. Dreesen gets a hit. Here is George Foster, who drove in the first Cincinnati run. Nobody out. Strike 1. The official scorers are Dick Dozier of the Chicago Tribune. He's the president of baseball writers. Earl Lawson, Cincinnati Post. Dick Young of the Daily News. And here in Cincinnati, and Jack Lang will be the official scorer in New York. They'll switch off. Went around, says DeMuro. 2 strikes on George Foster. Cincinnati threatening once again. Bottom of the 3rd. They lead 3-0. Perez at second. Dreesen is at first. One ball, 2 strikes.
Billy just sent Bob Lemon down to the far end of his dugout to check to see if Tidrow is loose. He was motioning for the right-hander, looking for a signal to see if he had good stuff.
Looks like Munson's trying to give Hunter a target on an outside part of the plate, take a shot at the corner. Blocked. Perez cannot advance. Nice play by the catcher Munson. He gets in front of that ball pretty nicely. Let's see. In the replay. It's a breaking ball. Hits him right in the chest protector. The spin from the right-hander, when the curveball, the breaking ball hits the dirt, will break to the opposite way. And you have to learn that. That's something that just doesn't happen. It's hours of work. Seems kind of silly to stand out in spring training and have somebody bounce curveballs off your chest, but that's what they do. 2-2 pitch. Foul straight back. Two balls and 2 strikes. Johnny Bench, the on-deck hitter. A good pitcher will have a target like Hunter has in the outside part of the plate, but when he misses, he'll miss farther outside. The mediocre pitcher, or if you're going to get in trouble, you miss inside, you'll be a couple runs behind. went after him and struck him out. Foster is out on strikes. One man out, and Hunter has to face Johnny Bench.
Marty, the last couple of weeks and through the championship series against Philadelphia, is that the best you've seen Bench swing the bat?
Without question, Tony. He struggled almost the entire season, and Sparky Anderson predicted maybe as far back as a month ago that he thought Johnny Bench would have a good playoff, and if the Reds got into the World Series, a good World Series.
Fly ball, left field. Roy White, plenty of room. 2 outs. So they're 2 away. Perez is still at second. Dreesen is at first. Here is Geronimo, who walked and scored in the second inning. And the Reds scored 3. That's the score, 3-0 Cincinnati. Ball 1. Foul ball out of play. You're really watching a master at work to the extent of how he's pitching these Cincinnati hitters in and out, Tony. He doesn't appear to have good stuff, but as Bob Lemon said, when he doesn't throw good, he still pitches good. Way outside.
Hunter is unusual, I think, Joe, in that as a youngster when he came to the big leagues, he did not have or was not considered to have a good fastball. He had a good curveball. Never knew what a slider was. One day somebody said to him in batting practice, throw a slider. He said, a what? The guy said, grab it and throw it like a football. He turned out to have one of the best sliders around. Takes some guys years to develop a sophisticated pitch like that. But then he got faster, got a little bit more in his fastball as he matured.
He had to learn the big leagues. He never pitched in the minor leagues. And I must say, in his latter years, he had a pretty good lawyer. Geronimo draws the base on balls, and that loads the bases. And here is Concepcion. There you see the Yankee coaches and manager, Billy Martin, Bob Lemon, Yogi Berra. Let's see, third walk given up by Catfish. Perez is at third. Dreesen is at second. Geronimo's at first. You got pretty good speed at second and the first.
Pretty good speed on the bench. Every guy in that Cincinnati uniform's got some. Almost every guy.
I was going to say, even the trainer, Larry Starr, can run. Concepcion takes a good cut at a high fastball. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, 3-0. Geronimo is at first. Dreesen at second, Perez at third. Strike 2 on the outside corner of fastball. Taking a shot at the corner. Got him. Concepcion is out on strikes at the end of 3. Cincinnati 3, New York nothing. Top of the 4th, Cincinnati leading 3-0. It'll be Munson, Pinnell, and Chambliss for the Yankees. And for the play-by-play, here is Marty Brenneman, who followed these Cincinnati Reds all year long.
Thank you, Joe, and hello again, everybody. Freddie Norman pitching very well through the first third of this game for the Cincinnati Reds. He's given the Yankees only 1 hit. That the infield hit to shortstop by Lou Piniella leading off the second. Thurman Munson 0 for 1, a fly ball to right in the first inning. So far in this game, it's been all Cincinnati through 3 innings. Norman getting his pitches over. Munson so far 1 for 5 in this World Series. Had a base hit yesterday. Speed throws, making a nice play going off to his left. He is very effective going that way, but making an off-balance throw.
Pete's had a little bit of difficulty throwing. This was a difficult throw. He was almost like an acrobat. He knew that Munson has speed. Munson gets out of the box very well because he's striding into the ball. I don't think Pete would have had a chance even had he made a good throw. They respect this guy, and he can run for a catcher. He's an excellent base runner.
So the Yankees had their second base hit of the game, both of the infield variety, and here's a man who has the other one in Lou Piniella. New York trailing 3-0 as the Yankees bat in the top of the fourth inning. Freddie Norman now walking off the back of the mound as he blows into his hands on a very cool evening in Cincinnati. Munson with a lead at first base. Perez plays behind him. Ball one.
Last two innings, Norman has had a couple of long stretches on the bench as the Reds have loaded the bases twice. This cool day, he might stiffen up.
George Foster should play this ball with no problem. That's the first out in the inning.
Joe, would you say Norman is the kind of guy who's typical of guys who are considered not hard throwers, nibblers, that he gets more guys out with fastballs than his breaking stuff?
Well, it's an old Yankee, Eddie Lopez. He used to do that, and he'd tell all the newspaper people and all the television radio people about his junk, and they'd talk about it and write about it. The hitters would read about it and listen to it, and he'd get you out with the fastball.
One away with the left-handed batting first baseman Chambliss in. Base hit, and Yankees now with runners at first and second base as they pose their first threat in this ball game against Freddie Norman of the Cincinnati Reds, and the batter will be third baseman Greg Nettles. Chambliss coming up with his second hit in the World Series. Now Johnny Bench shouting out something toward Freddie Norman. Norman not a fast worker by any stretch of the imagination, but the rapidity with which he has pitched in 1976 far surpasses last year. He speeded up his time between pitches during the season on the advice of pitching coach Larry Shepard. It's paid off for him. That should get a run home. The throw will go to third base.
Oh.
And that one gets through, but they'll hold the runner at third base. So New York is on the board as the Yankees begin to zero in on Freddie Norman. Thurman Munson scoring the first New York one. It's now 3-1 score, and Cincinnati with some double-barrel action in their bullpen for the first time tonight.
Geronimo with his great throwing arm overthrew a cutoff man. But even at that, the base runner was pretty brave trying to go to second base. Billingham and Sarmiento. Sarmiento number 45 on the right of your screen.
Elliot Maddox will be at the plate. You got a shot of Jack Billingham loosening up in the Cincinnati bullpen. Sparky Anderson said before the game that if he needed somebody early in this game, it more likely would be Jack Billingham. And the Yankees have the tying runs in scoring position, one out. And Norman coming over with a screwball. He's had good luck with that pitch tonight as he gets it in for a strike. Freddie Norman with a quick advantage on Elliot Maddox, 0-2 the count.
He's up with his pitches, though. He turned that one over, and that was up about belt high.
Maddox representing the only strikeout that Norman has had in the ball game. Fine years back-to-back for the Yankees in 1974 and 1975. Just missing inside with the next pitch. 1-2 the count. Sparky Anderson, no doubt a bit concerned right now about what's going on here at Riverfront Stadium. A very placid individual, Anderson, in this World Series, unlike his previous appearances in the Fall Classic. Big strikeout for Fred Norman. The punch out of a dejected Elliott Maddox takes a bit of the heat off the Cincinnati defense, and now it'll be second baseman Willie Randolph. A fly ball to center field in the third.
Pretty good piece of pitching and work by Bench behind the plate, moving the ball around. He had set him up with a couple of off-speed pitches, a screwball outside, and then he came in. He jammed him. Had him leaning over the plate.
3-1 score. The Yankees have put a run across here in the fourth inning. Nice play by Concepcion and the running throw. The inning is over. At the end of 3.5 innings of play, Cincinnati 3, the Yankees 1.
We're going to show you now exactly what Davey Concepcion saw with men on second and third. The ball sharply hit. It would have been a tie ball game right now, 3 apiece, with a lot of other shortstop. But Davey makes it look easy with a fast runner going down. He saved Norman some runs.
Good example, Tony, of this man's defensive ability. They talk about the high number of errors he had in 76, which he did, but he gets to so many balls that a lot of shortstops would never even attempt to play. Top of the order up for the Reds. They lead in the game 3-1. Rose has hit a fly ball to left. He's had a base on balls, one of 3 allowed by Catfish Hunter. Ball is hit well. Good play by Roy White in left field. Roses.
That ball is really slicing away from Roy, too. He's playing in a strange ballpark. He hit the warning track. He does a very good job. He was playing Rose a little bit shallow, Joe.
Yes, he was. And Tony, it's always interesting when Pete Rose comes up, how he checks the defense. You could see his eyes just roaming, and he had made up his mind to go that way on Catfish, and he stung it pretty good.
Ken Griffey has knocked in a run, a fly ball to center in the second. This ball drilled well to center field. Here's Mickey Rivers with a good speed. Reds are hitting some shots off of Catfish Hunter in this ball game, Tony.
Yeah, they're good swings, aren't they?
Boy, I tell you, that a Yankee outfield right now looks like a track team getting ready for the 440.
Greg Nettles having a brief word with Catfish Hunter as Joe Morgan moves to the plate.
Some people say that 318 innings, including post, that's an average, isn't it, Alan Ross? Some people say that's where maybe his arm problems are coming in. He has pitched a lot.
Morgan a single in the first inning. Hunter popped him out to Thurman Munson and foul ground in the second. Ball 2. Reds scoring 3 times in the second. Yankees getting a run at the top of this fourth inning. Morgan has his second hit, and you can look for him to go for a pair, maybe 3. He'll try to get 3 out of it, and will do it with ease as he goes in standing up.
Joe Garagiola called your attention earlier to the extreme shift they put on Morgan. That ball was directly in center field. And Morgan uses no coaches at all. He just keeps right on going. What great judgment he has in the base paths. Well, he's just the best player in the game today, that's all.
He's having a good World Series, too, Tony, after not getting a hit off Philadelphia pitching in the Reds' 3-game sweep. Tony Perez with 2 out and Joe Morgan 90 feet away from the 4th Cincinnati run. Could be a tough play for Rivers, but a nice running catch in right center field. So in the inning, Reds get nothing, and at the end of 4 complete, it's 3-1 Cincinnati.
Here's that last Mickey Rivers catch. He started back, but Joe, with his great speed, he recovered from his mistake and just outran the ball.
Extra effort that he gave it, Tony.
Freddie Norman journeys into the 5th inning. There you see the on-deck batter, Mickey Rivers. It'll be shortstop Fred Stanley leading it off. Davey Concepcion will play the pop. Yankees swinging at a lot of early pitches in this game, Tony.
Oh, they do. They're a swinging ball club. They don't walk very often. The only one who has a little bit of patience on the club is White.
Mickey Rivers 0 for 2. He's fly to center. He's bounced to first.
Tony, what kind of a scouting report do you figure they had on Norman? He's had control problems, yet they're jumping on the first pitch.
I don't know.
Ball 1.
I don't think that Rivers' control problems come because he cannot throw strikes.
We're talking about Norman now.
I mean, Norman, yeah. But sometimes he doesn't want to. He wants to nibble, and he gets too far behind hitters, and that's the time when Shepard gets all over him. Sparky said if Shepard goes out, it's not going to be a nice talk session. He's going to chew him out.
Very rough.
Start throwing strikes.
Concepcion gets rid of it quickly. 2 down here in the New York Yankee 5th inning. Davey Concepcion and Tony Perez hooking up to retire speedy Mickey Rivers.
Boy, they get that ball and they move it in a hurry. They do everything with Rivers running at 33 in the third.
Roy White with 2 pop-ups to Joe Morgan. So Freddie Norman, after a rough 4th inning when the Yankees scored their only run, trying to make it a routine 5th. Reds have out hit him 8-4 and have outscored him 3-1. One ball and 1 strike.
Marty, Norman led the Cincinnati staff in complete games with 8, and that's an example of how much Sparky Anderson goes to his bullpen.
Well, he didn't start the season in the Cincinnati rotation, Tony, his 2nd straight year, and Sparky Anderson will readily admit that he made a mistake right out of the chute in that respect. The guy gets going. He's an awfully tough customer. Screwball low, 2-1. 2 outs, nothing going on for the Yankees. Norman falling farther behind now. He's only walked a batter. There's Thurman Munson, the on-deck hitter. Roy White, the 2-out base runner. Munson has had one of the 4 Yankee hits. He got out scoring inning underway in the 4th inning with the infield hit to third base and has scored the New York run. Once again, the Cincinnati bullpen is going to become active. Same duo, Jack Billingham and rookie right-hander Manny Sarmiento. Norman out of the inning on Munson's comebacker. We're halfway through this first ever Sunday night game in World Series history. 3-1 Reds. 5, 6, and 7 for the Reds in the 5th inning. Danny Dreesen to lead it off. After going hitless yesterday, 2 for 2 tonight against Catfish Hunter. Ball 1. Yankee outfield really pulled around toward right and deep for Dreesen.
When you look at that defense, you know they're going to try to pitch him inside. They just have to pitch him inside, and he sees that.
Roy White playing him pretty well, perfectly on that ball. So Hunter has retired Dreesen for the first time in the game, and George Foster will step in.
Joe, I don't believe Hunter likes to pitch many hitters at all inside for strikes. He might move you back, but his strength really is sinking the ball away, sliders outside.
But if you're going to stack your defense, you better pitch it where they're going to hit it that way.
I don't recall, even though they played Dreesen as a pull hitter, that he pulls the ball that much. Not that extremely.
I agree with you. I think they're way over.
Here's a guy you have to play pretty well, honestly. George Foster with excellent power the other way. And the Yankee outfield in this situation playing him thusly. Greg Nettles with a play to Chris Chambliss, 2 out.
Tony, I had a snicker because here we are questioning the way the Yankees are playing, and they got more scouts than Custer had on that Saturday night. They got 2 walkie-talkies. They got guys upstairs, downstairs, all over the place, so I guess they know what they're doing.
You know what Bench had for breakfast this morning?
Johnny's 1 for 2, a double. The Reds 3, the New York Yankees 1. 5th inning action from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati.
He's jumping on the first ball, Bench is.
It's a good sign he's swinging the bat good. You got the panoramic view of Riverfront Stadium. Bench totally fooled on that pitch.
Boy, he may have just missed him, Marty. It was a hanging curveball. Johnny, I believe, had it timed all right. He just got under it.
Look where Munson was on the outside corner. Ooh.
Joe Morgan likes to refer to that as spinning on a pitcher. Bench almost dug himself a hole in the batter's box.
Hunter was happy to get away with a mistake that time.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out. Base is empty for the Reds.
Munson's on that outside corner, and he's missing in the last 2 innings. That's Danger City.
Hunter as far as he can go with Johnny Bench. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the payoff pitch again. Hunter with a strikeout, a routine 1-2-3 inning. We have completed 5. It remains the Reds 3, the Yankees 1. Got some fans in Jersey.
Quebec fans. Love Tony. Joe, and didn't get the third name. Pinella will lead it off, and it's always kind of fun, Tony, in Yankee Stadium, just like Boog Plow, and they say holler Boog Boog in Yankee Stadium, they holler Lou Lou, and it sounds like they're booing him.
That's Lou Pinella starting that story. They're really booing him.
No, they're not.
Oh, I know they're not.
That's great, though. Just think when they are booing, you say, oh, they're not booing me. They're hollering Lou Lou.
He can hit, I'll tell you that.
3 times he's been a 300-plus hitter. Tonight, 1 for 2.
And he has been known to do some strange things. One day he made the last out in the 9-inning game and ran right out the right field fence in his uniform all the way home.
3-1 to score. Cincinnati with a lead. Top of the 6th inning. Freddie Norman with his most impressive World Series appearance. Getting behind quickly to Lou Pinella. 2 balls and no strikes.
Sparky will not waste any time. Any signs of weakening on a part of Norman, getting behind hitters too often, you're going to have somebody loosening up.
There's a strike over on the outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yogi Berra down at the far end of the New York Yankee dugout.
It's my wedding picture. Yogi was my best man. Look at Stan the Man Musial's in the park, and look at me with hair and my pretty wife.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Some heavyweights in that picture.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 in the Hall of Fame. I hate to rub it in.
You guys are terrible.
You got your Peabody in your
Yeah, but I
pocket.
made the best catch that day, I'll tell you that.
You sure did. 3 of them in the Hall of Fame.
Freddie Norman's 2-2 pitch to Lou Piniella. Got a shot at Norman a moment ago. He's got a very, very simple and basic pitching philosophy. When he goes out there, he says the other 8 guys are paid to play 9 innings. I should be 2. He does not like to come out of a ball game. That's a squiggler, and that's going to be a base hit. Piniella hit that ball right off the end of the bat, and it had some motion on it.
Not only that, it's the kind of one that fools you because Concepcion broke to his left. Piniella leaned way over the plate, one that you expect him to go up the middle with or to right field, but he got out in front. He was fooled on the screwball, and he pulled it. Right at that time, Davey had taken almost a full step to his left. By the time he recovered, he couldn't make the play.
It's hard to believe that ball went to left field, Tony.
Well, it was outside the strike zone, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's the same ball that Perez punched into right field, it looked like.
That's a 5th New York hit, the 2nd for Piniella. And once again, Sparky Anderson is going to get the fires burning in his bullpen. Ball 1 to Chris Chambliss. Sparky Anderson. And in the Reds bullpen again, the twosome of Jack Billingham on your left and Manny Sarmiento on the right.
I love this. Here we are, first World Series Sunday night game, the big event, and Fred Norman ties his shoes.
You got to be a little bit upset because he base hit on that last one. As we look at Billy Martin and the rest of the crew, Sandy Alomar, good pitch, and Piniella comes up with a base hit.
On to second base goes Piniella on Chris Chambliss' second hit. So New York getting their first 2 men on in the 6th inning. They're down by a couple of runs. There's Chambliss at first base. For the tie-in runs are on, it'll be Greg Nettles. Delivered the run-scoring single to center field in the 4th inning.
You mentioned this yesterday, Marty. He's a high fastball hitter, but he used to be a low fastball hitter. And I asked him why. He gave me a typical ball player's answer. He said, I'm getting too old. I couldn't get down low to lift the pitch anymore. Smart Alec.
Had a pretty good year in the changeover for him in 1976. 32 home runs. That pitch was up, but too much so, a ball.
I have to laugh because that's like Musial. When he was young, he hit the bottom half of the ball. When he got old, he hit the top half.
Very concerned Sparky Anderson. Norman behind to Nettles, 2 balls and no strikes. Will McInerney has taken over for Manny Sarmiento in the bullpen. So the Reds have a left-hander and a right-hander throwing.
If this ball's in the strike zone, you're going to see some kind of cut.
On the inside corner, a call strike.
He didn't like it. He was looking for a pitch in the zone. Maybe one up, Joe.
Yep.
Didn't get it. Norman made a good pitch. You've got to give him credit. He kept the ball down.
You guess when you're ahead of that pitcher. You look for a particular pitch in a particular spot. You don't just guess fastball. You say, I want a fastball over the plate, outside part of the plate.
Tony Perez and Joe Morgan. Let's see who has a play if either one of them do. And Morgan makes a play with Perez right behind it.
What more can that guy do? He's all over the field. Just a super play by Joe when you figure where he had to come from. He went over initially just to help Perez out.
That's out number 1 in the Yankees' 6th inning. The batter will be Elliot Maddox. There's Joe Morgan. At some out of sight 1976 season for the Cincinnati Reds. Maddox has had all sorts of problems with Norman. He's been up twice. He has struck out twice. Run-producing situation for the New York Yankees. This guy right here is not going to give in to anybody.
He's thrown some good screwballs to Maddox.
Nothing in 2 on Elliott Maddox.
I thought when Johnny Bench gave that sign, he went to his chest protector, he might be switching off, but after that pitch, if it was a message, it was to crowd him. It was going across his chest. Many times they use it as a switch. Let's see if he does anything this time.
2 on with 1 out. Norman missing with a high fastball.
There's one thing about Bench, Joe, and you could help me out on this. He doesn't like to give his target too soon. Some of those hitters glance back. He waits till that hitter's concentrating on the pitcher before he shows where with his glove to throw it.
First double play of the ball game. Yankees out in the 6th inning. 3-1 Cincinnati.
Here's a shot of the inning-ending double play as we watch Chambliss. One hopper hit well. Nice and easy, Morgan to Perez. Concepcion playing a fine defensive game. He got an in-between hop. The ball was smacked hard.
You could see Bill Deegan, the second base umpire, motion safe. The ball hit the ground as he came into the picture.
They call this man Tony Blake on the Cincinnati Reds ball club.
They what?
Tony Blake, the magician from TV fame. Ball is fouled back. He, of course, uses just about every inch between the chalk lines.
Well, the olden days, they used to call him Houdini. Who was Mandrake?
Don Mueller.
Don Mueller was Mandrake.
Geronimo's walked twice. He scored a run. Hunter with his most impressive inning to date in the 5th when he got the side out in order. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hardly know this guy's around, Tony. Reds clubhouse very, very quiet.
Over 300, hitting 8th. That's all the Reds needed was a DH for the World Series. They were really hurting as far as run production, weren't they? Give them an extra bat, and they've got plenty on the bench.
Catfish Hunter full on Geronimo, 3-2. See whether Stanley or Nettles will play this ball. Stanley giving way as Nettles makes a grab, 1 out.
Catfish Hunter, Joe, doesn't usually have to work as hard as he has tonight to get 2 strikes. He doesn't go 3-2 on many hitters. He's been behind some. You can tell he really hasn't his great stuff.
But the difference between the good pitcher and the mediocre pitcher is the guy who can still pitch good when he doesn't have the good stuff. When you got your good stuff, man, it's easy. All I got to do is show you where the mound is.
Reds had the 1 big inning against him when they scored 3 in the 2nd. Strike to Concepcion.
Every time I see him, I can't believe they put him in a dryer and turned it on.
That happened at Wrigley Field very early in the season.
Well, look how big he is.
Scared him to death, Joe, when it happened, because Pat Zachary, I guess you could say, was the culprit. He turned it on. Concepcion got in there with very, very little room to spare. All you could see was the whites of his eyes when it started going around. He'll play for months and holding 2-strike count.
He's 6'2". Get caught in that spin cycle in the dryer, boy, you're in a slump.
A couple more minutes and they might have nicknamed him Crispy.
He came out of it with a very, very hot bat, so I think that if the same thing come about next year, he'd readily get back into that dryer again. Hits the ball well. Out number 2. Off day in this 1976 World Series tomorrow, but Tuesday night at Yankee Stadium, it'll be right-handed rookie Pat Zachary for the Cincinnati Reds against veteran Doc Ellis for the New York Yanks.
Watch his eyes on this shot, how he checks the defense. He's always looking around. There it goes.
Rose has not yet had a base hit in the World Series. He's 0 for 2 tonight with fly balls to left. Was on through a walk in the second.
Boy, he just bears down on you. When that ball goes by, he watches it go right into your glove.
1-1 pitch. Well, Hunter puts Rose in a hole here. I think Pete might be questioning that call just a bit with Lou DeMuro. Hunter has now retired 6 batters in a row as he shows signs of getting it all together. Three to 1 score. Cincinnati bottom of the 6th. And the count is full.
He is really taking a shot at it. Look at Rose. He's arguing and with Munson as he helps him umpire. That ball's outside. Thurman, no, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
He'll talk to anybody. Great to watch him at third base during the season, talking with those third base coaches. Talk to anybody but Tony Kubek. Many years ago, and that's a radical departure hairstyle.
Carolyn Rose. Pete Rose Street. You've seen the life story and pictures of this guy who's become very successful.
And he has it. Pete Rose Street over near the high school that Pete graduated from, and there's his Rolls Royce. That's not taken too far ago, and he's got Pete on the license plate.
Talk about a hometown boy makes good story.
Come a long, long way. Catfish Hunter gets a strikeout. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Cat, and at the end of 6, 3-1 Cincinnati. Well, we move to the top of the 7th inning as Freddie Norman goes back to the mound. He's given the Yankees a run in the 4th inning on a total of 6 hits in the game. It's going to be second baseman Willie Randolph to get things underway for New York. And back to call the action for you, Joe Garagiola.
Okay, Marty. Catfish Hunter, Tony, is retired 7 men in a row, and he has just been pitching well.
He has. He looks like he's in the groove. He's not throwing quite as hard as we've seen Catfish Hunter. Not have that fastball to get the strikeout on occasion, but he keeps everything away. Makes him hit the opposite field or the big part of the park and center.
And this little guy's done the same thing as he faces Willie Randolph. Randolph, 0 for 2 tonight. Concepcion made a good play on him in the 4th inning. 3-1, Cincinnati leading top of the 7th. Strike 1. Strike 2. 2 strikes to count on Willie Randolph. A looper is going to drop in for a base hit. And boy, that's what puts gray hairs in managers' heads. 2 quick strikes and then lay one in there, and it's a base hit. Of course, I don't imagine any room for Sparky Anderson for any gray hair. Fred Stanley is the batter. Stanley walked and then popped to the shortstop. Cincinnati 3, New York 1, top of the 7th. High ball 1. And they start in the bullpen for Cincinnati again. You see the lead by Randolph. Low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
I think Randolph someday, Joe, is going to be a big base stealer. He's got the speed and the quickness to steal 40, 50 bases. Of course, with his ball club down by 2 and the bench arm, you're not going to try anything going to take you out of a possible inning.
He'd get picked off now. We may see Billy Martin run across and help him get back in the dugout. Two balls, no strikes, nobody out. 3-1. Cincinnati leading, top of the 7th. Stanley waits. Two balls, 1 strike, fastball. Stanley takes a look down at Dick Hauser, who coaches at third. Alston Howard coaches at first for the Yankees. Randolph's at first. That'll be out of play along the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You can see Fred Stanley looking down. You can rationalize Randolph running, stay away from the double play more than anything else. I don't think they'd be putting on any plays. But if nothing else, when a batter takes a look at the third base coach, it gives him a chance to put on a lot of decoys. Everybody's trying to steal a sign. 2-2 pitch. Ball 3, 3-2. What do you do now, Coach?
I think it's start him.
I would too. Absolutely.
Stanley's a pretty good contact man. Billy's trying to get his club to be a little more aggressive. Maybe he can get something going, open a hole in the infield.
Randolph wasn't sure to sign. He's standing down at first base, right on the bag, looking right at Dick Hauser, who just went through another series. A shorter version of the first series he went through. Gotta believe he's gone. So if Stanley misses it, we're going to have strikeout and throw him out. There he goes. Line drive, left field, base hit. Randolph digging hard. He's going to come around to score. It's 3-2, and Stanley is on with the double. So Billy Martin starts his man, picks up a run. We got a 3-2 ball game.
Here's Willie Randolph. He wasn't trying to get a good jump. He was just making sure the pitcher pitched, so he wouldn't get picked off. Norman now is starting to get the ball up a little bit more. The ball to Randolph was up, a 2-strike pitch. Same with Stanley. Billingham and McEnany continue to throw for Cincinnati.
So there's a look at the Yankee bench. We've got a 3-2 ball game now. Cincinnati out in front, top of the 7th. Stanley's on at second base, and here is Mickey Rivers, who's 0 for 3.
He may be trying to pull a bunt just to get that runner over.
Nobody out. Strike 1. Pete Rose is still in at third base, but not quite as far. There you see it. Stanley at second base. He has to protect third base to some degree.
Norman, a pretty good fielder, Marty?
I'd say he's about an average fielder, Tony. Nothing exceptional, nothing in the Don Gullett mold, certainly.
Fly ball, center field. Geronimo will make the play. 1 out. Stanley has to hold.
I got to believe right there, Joe, if I'm Mickey Rivers, even if I don't get the bunt sign with the left-hander out there, I'm going to try and get the ball on the ground somehow, drag a ball, create a little problem for the defense.
What hurts is that you're making out and don't pick up a base. Roy White is the batter. Roy White popped to the second baseman Morgan in the first and the third, and then he walked in the 5th. 3-2, Cincinnati leading. Morgan and bench want to go out and visit with Freddie Norman. Bullpen continues to throw. Billingham and McEnany. We've been looking at them most of the night. Can't be much of a strategy meeting out there. First base is open, but obviously the leading run, you got to go out and get White. Munson is next hitter. You doubt very much if Stanley is stealing the sign, so I'd have to guess you're just saying, get this hitter, bear down on him, get him.
I want to get clear with men in scoring position what the scouting report is. Bench is the guy who sits down with Ray Shore, goes over the hitters. Got them imprinted. Morgan wanted to get it straight.
Ball one, fastball misses. White hit .286 for the year. Stanley at second base. Strike is called. 1-1, one man out. Fred Stanley at second, a tying run. It's 3-2. Cincinnati win at top of the seventh. Curveball misses. Ooh. Norman thought he had it. 2 balls and 1 strike. That's out of play. 2-2 the count.
When Norman's been forced to challenge Yankee hitters with his fastball, he's almost thrown it by him. Gotten him to swing late.
It's the thing you talked about before. He's giving him so much of that soft stuff. Fastball looks faster. Fred Stanley at second base. 3-2, Cincinnati leading top of the seventh. Base hit left field. I doubt if Stanley can score. They're going to hold him up. Here's the throw. That's one of those ooh or ahs from the stands, but that was not a good throw.
Over through the cutoff man. Roy White did not take advantage of it, and we may see Sparky pop out and make a change. Stanley on second, representing the tying run. As soon as the ball was in the air, he said, I'm going to make sure. I don't want to double play. That's the reason he didn't score. First and third, still a double play situation, something that Cincinnati always seems to do as Sparky comes out. Keep the force situation. Keep the double play in order. He's gone for Billingham. Norman did a good job, Joe.
So we've got a break in the action, Tony, and it's 3-2. Cincinnati over the Yankees in the seventh. Jack Billingham, the new pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. And while we got a chance here, a reminder that on November 21st, from 7 to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, that's Sunday, November 21, 7 to 11:30 Eastern Time, 4.5 hours of entertainment. And very simply, the first 50 years. I might add a note. Don Meredith will be hosting the football segment, and proud to say I was given the opportunity to handle the baseball segment. It's the first 50 years of NBC. As tonight's ball game here, the World Series Sunday night game, is part of the big event, so will the first 50 years be part of the big event. November 21st, 7 to 11:30. Billingham is ready, 1 man out. Tying run is at third. Fred Stanley, tiebreaker, is at first. Roy White, and here is Thurman Munson. Bouncing ball. Morgan will go to second, and that's the only play. We're all tied up here. The ball was not hit hard. It seemed like Morgan was a bit undecided, didn't know what to do, come to the plate or wait for the tag on White. Here it is, Tony.
He knew there was not going to be a double play. He took a glance at home, but on the high hopper, he was too far in front of the runner going to second to tag him and go to first. So he took the sure out, kept the force in order once again.
And so we're all tied at 3-3 here in the top of the seventh.
Joe, Jack Billingham used only 5 times in relief this season, but he's been the best Cincinnati pitcher in World Series play since coming to this club in 1972. 22 2/3 innings, 3 runs, 1 earned on 14 hits.
Hot smash up the middle. Morgan bobbles it, races for the bag, and wins it. Bill Deegan says he got there in time. So that ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. We're all tied. New York 3, Cincinnati 3. It's game 2. It's game 2. In 1972, there's Joe Rudy with a dramatic home run. Joe Rudy for the Oakland A's. Watch this catch off Dennis Menke. Just like it's game 2 here. Game 2, 1972, and what a catch he made. Joe Rudy. We'll be showing you great moments of comparable games. Tonight is game 2, and we just showed you a play, 2 plays, from game 2 of 1972. Now it's the bottom half of the 7th inning, all tied at 3 apiece. Griffey, Morgan, and Perez. Once again, no National League pitcher has been able to pitch a World Series complete game since Steve Glass and the Pirates in the final game of the 71 series against the Orioles. They've gone 28 games in a row with no complete game, National League pitchers. Center field, Mickey Rivers is waiting. 1 out.
Hunter now continues to keep the Reds just a little bit off stride. Griffey a little bit ahead of that pitch. Not allowing them to pull the ball. Hit it with authority.
Here is Morgan. Morgan single to center field, stole a base in the first, foul to the catcher. Triple. He's 2 for 3. Outside, ball 1. They have really swung around. Roy White is way over in left center field. Look at the defense. Look where White is. Popped up, maybe playable. Munson's going to give it a chase. So is Nettles, and Munson leans in and makes the play. What a play he made. Thurman Munson, a tremendous play on a foul ball hit by Joe Morgan.
We talk a lot about Johnny Bench's agility, and I think Bench obviously has a better throwing arm than Munson. But when you talk about those kinds of things, catching pop-ups, getting out on bunts, I think he can match Johnny Bench.
Tony, he found that ball, looked once, and knew he had room, and made the play. Big out. Here is Perez. That one will be out of play. Strike 1. All tied. 3 apiece. Strike 2.
Well, he's got the best fastball now than he's had most of the game. That's the hardest pitch he's thrown. And I can recall.
He let that one fly.
Changing speeds well.
He's retired 9 men in a row. Just misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up. Thurman Munson once again coming over. Does he have a play? Nope. Thurman Munson. I tell you, best describe him as just rawhide. He plays hard. Tony Perez. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on, score tied, 3 apiece. That's playable. Randolph taking charge. Makes the play, ends the 7th inning. Hunter retired 10 men in a row. At the end of 7, we're all tied, 3 apiece. Chris Chambliss to lead it off against Jack Billingham, who came on in relief, Freddie Norman. And we thank the Cincinnati Reds, and we add our congratulations to them for Once again, winning the National League pennant. Bob Hausman has a habit of doing that, doesn't he, Marty?
Winning the pennant?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, he does, sir.
Chambliss takes it outside, and it's ball 1. Outside corner, it's 1-1. Chambliss, a base hit in the 6th, a base hit in the 4th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There was a good study of Johnny Bench moving in to get the fastball inside after getting 2 quick strikes on the outside corner. Oh, it's not that easy, John. 2 balls and 2 strikes. All tied, 3 apiece when the 8th inning. Nobody on, nobody out. 3-2. Chambliss has a full count. Hot smash. Morgan has it. 1 away. There's Billy Martin. Greg Nettles is the batter. And in the on-deck circle, Carlos May. Ball 1. Nettles 1 for 3. Fly to left, single to drive in a run, and pop to the second baseman. 2-0.
Nettles finished the season. There is Raleigh Eastwick starting to throw for the Reds, but Nettles might have been the hottest hitter in the Yankees ball club. He had a fine September.
He made a spectacular play tonight, not showing a box score on a double steal. Munson threw a ball trying to get the man at third, and Nettles a diving catch of the throw. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off. 2-1.
Joe, this is the first time in 2 weeks that Jack Billingham has pitched. He was the starting pitcher for the Reds in the final game of regular season play on the 3rd of October. Pulled a right bicep muscle on his first pitch in the 2nd inning and did not pitch at all in the league championship series.
3 balls and a strike. Greg Nettles doesn't even bother to look at Dick Hauser coaching at third. You know he's got the green light. The outside corner, a perfect pitch by Billingham. We've got a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 man out, score tied. We're in the 8th inning. Nobody on. Out of play. Count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jack Billingham against Greg Nettles. Foul ball. You don't think he's going for downtown, do you, Tony?
He's had some good counts to hit on, Joe. He's been ahead of the pitcher several times tonight. There they are. Let's see, Bando's playing out his option. Reggie Jackson's playing out his option. See them possibly in different uniforms next year.
3-2 pitch. All back.
Cincinnati outfield now late in the ball game, 8th inning, has moved back. Geronimo and Griffey especially, to cut down the extra base hits. Tend a little bit more to give the single and protect the alleys, keep that runner from getting in the scoring position. It's George Sugar's job. He's watching those charts, keeping track of the defense for Anderson.
Tell you, the way that Nettles is swinging, as we look at Dick Hauser coaching the third, if he hits one, the only way they're going to catch it is they got a seat in the upper deck. He is really going for a long ball. Taps it foul. This is just strength against strength right now. A real classic battle.
Little did a good job just getting a piece of that one. That one sunk well.
Pulled it foul. Billingham doesn't want to walk him, and Nettles is getting his cuts. Ball doesn't feel right, and he wants a new one. Now Nettles either wants a hot water bottle. How do you like that?
Is that what that is?
That's what it is. This game may be decided by who had the best druggist. A hot water bottle, instrumental in the World Series Game 2 as part of the big event right here on NBC.
That'll be the big story in the newspapers tomorrow. Yesterday was the walkie-talkies.
We're all tied. We're in the 8th inning, 3-3. Greg Nettles against Jack Billingham. Temperature was 43 at game time. Nettles, it seems like he's been up there for about 20 minutes. Line drive. Perez gets it. What a play. Took a base hit away from him. Perez took a base hit away from Nettles yesterday and again tonight.
Perez times it beautifully. Just to the edge of the webbing of his glove. What a great play. It might have been two bases. Hooking toward that right field corner. Good defense by Tony.
That's again another example, Tony, of what we were talking about yesterday. This man simply has not gotten the credit around the National League for his defensive capabilities.
Here is Carlos May. And Ellen Roth, who takes care of our statistics, points out that it took 11 pitches and a great catch to get Greg Nettles. What a play Perez made. Carlos May is batting for Elliot Maddox. Strike one.
Take another look at that catch. Possibly saving a double. Tony Perez robbing Nettles of a hit.
Curveball misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had to time that perfectly. If he jumps a split second sooner, he doesn't get it.
Carlos, the kind of guy, can generate a little power. Since he lost that thumb, he's choked up and gone more the opposite way. But you pitch him inside, if he's looking, he can jerk one.
He pinch hit yesterday and lined out to the left fielder. It was in the 8th inning. 2 men out. Outside. 2 balls and a strike. Yankees 3 runs, 9 hits and no errors. Cincinnati 3 runs, 8 hits and no errors. Tapped foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We take a look from the creepy peepee camera. Left field coming in to Carlos May. Boy, it's like a different time zone out there. Laid back. Johnny Bench says, ask him. No, says the third base umpire, Bruce Fleming. The umpire behind the plate will always ask the open side umpire, what do you think?
It's a tough call for the home plate umpire. He is concentrating so hard. Well, I don't know. That was an awful tough call. He might have had a double if he'd have made contact.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Tony Perez flips to Billingham in time. And that ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We're all tied. New York 3, Cincinnati 3. So here we go. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Danny Creason, George Foster, and Johnny Bench. Catfish Hunter. Ball 1. Creason doubled and scored in the 2nd. Base hit in the 3rd and fly to left in the 5th. That's out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hunter's had the Reds off stride beautifully. That is Catfish Hunter so far today. Not a typical game. He does not usually walk 3. He's thrown a lot of pitches, more than he usually does by this stage of the game.
Right center field. Rivers is there. 1 away.
Have you ever caught a guy like this, Joe? You always just miss with it. Oh, a guy will go back to the bench and just miss. Just on the end of the bat. A little bit late, just under it.
What he does, as you know, when you go 0 for 4 or 0 for 5, they call it a collar. Catfish Hunter gives you a comfortable collar. You think you can hit him, but you look up and you're wearing an 0 for 4. George Foster. Foster drove in a run in the 2nd inning. Out on strikes. Bounced out 3rd to 1st. Strike 1. Fastball.
Nettles now at 3rd base has begun to guard the line more. There's Bench on deck.
George backs out. One ball, 1 strike. Munson gave him the target to the outside part of the plate. He hit it but low. Foul back. Boy, when Hunter peers in for his sign, he looks like the guy in High Noon. 1939, Yankees won 4-0, 61, they won 4-1. Yankees and Reds World Series, previous years. Look at him. Struck him out. Foster is out on strikes. That's a 5th strikeout for Catfish. 2 outs, nobody on. Brings up Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench hit the first pitch, started 2 and took a strike on the first pitch the last time up. See what happens. Outside, ball 1. Yankee bench. Gene Michael, Dick Hauser, Billy Martin, Yogi Berra left to right. There's a base hit for Bench. Bench singles, and that's the first base hit since the 4th inning when Morgan tripled. He had retired 12 men in a row before Bench just broke the streak. Says it right there. They're even up. 3-9-0 for the Yankees. 3-9-0 for Cincinnati. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, and Geronimo is the batter. He walked and scored in the 2nd. He walked in the 3rd, popped out in the 6th. And they're holding Bench on. Can't take him for granted. Ball 1. Regular season, Johnny Bench stole 13 bases in 15 attempts. And there he is, with 2 outs. Right back to Hunter. That's going to be it. So at the end of 8 innings, New York 3, Cincinnati 3.
3-9-0 New York, 3-9-0 Cincinnati, 9th inning. Willie Randolph to lead it off. Billingham in relief of Fred Norman. Strike one. Fred Stanley on deck. 54,816 the attendance tonight. Randolph fouls it off for strike two. Gene Monahan, Yankee trainer, made the play. There's a shot of the crowd. 54,816. Curveball gets away from Bench.
He went after that pitch to block it, too, with 2 strikes.
Sir.
He's something.
Started to say you could see him scamper because maybe Randolph would have swung at that. He'd have had to throw him out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 9th, all tied at 3 apiece. Two and two. Bullpen for Cincinnati busy. Fred Stanley on deck. He went after it, says the umpire. Randolph says no. DeMuro says a strike. There's 1 away.
And Billy's hot. He's yelling at the home plate umpire from the dugout. Good pitch by Billingham, right down there, low in the outside corner. Watch this. Perfect pitch. Awfully close to take with 2 strikes.
So there's 1 away, and here's Fred Stanley, who got a big base hit in that 2-run 7th inning. After a base hit by Randolph, Stanley hit a double down the left field line. Driving in Randolph, he came around to score on Munson's force out. Ball 1. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He walked in the 3rd inning. And no strikes. Sparky Anderson. Billy Martin. Jack Billingham. Strike 1. 2 balls and a strike. Crowd, nobody's left this ballpark. Popped up. Joe Morgan makes the play, and there are 2 outs.
Look at the little bitty glove that Joe Morgan uses. He probably uses as small a glove as any infielder in baseball. He believes he can be a lot quicker with it, especially on the double play, getting the ball out of his glove.
Here is Mickey Rivers. He is 0 for 4. Rose comes in a couple steps. Strike. Tony Perez will make the play himself. He does. 3 up and 3 down. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. We're all tied. New York 3, Cincinnati 3. See Billy Martin heading back to the dugout talking to Dick Hauser. There he was a minute ago talking to Lou DeMuro, but they just seemed to be discussing something, and whatever DeMuro said made Billy happy. For the Reds in the bottom of the 9th, Dave Concepcion, right-handed. Pete Rose and Griffey from the left-handed side. And we'll pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. The crowd comes to life. 54,816. Game 2 all tied. Concepcion
Single to right to drive in a run in the second, stole a base, was out on strikes in the third, flying to left in the sixth. Short center field. Rivers coming hard. Randolph going out. Rivers makes the play. I don't think he saw that ball right away, Tony.
He broke back a little bit. You know, I was thinking about Hunter. A lot of pitchers in this situation, second game of the World Series, would no longer be in the ball game. He struggles so. Bases loaded second, bases loaded third. Martin stuck with him. He knows he's the old pro. He's the money pitcher. Look what he's done since then.
The Catfish Hunter, against Pete Rose. Rose is 0 for 3. He walked in the second inning. Strike one. Born and lives in Hertford, North Carolina. Catfish Hunter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Last count, he had about 30 hunting dogs.
Two balls and a strike. All tied, 3 apiece. Bottom of the ninth. 1 man out, nobody on. Fly ball, left field, Roy White. Makes the play. They're 2 away. Brings up Ken Griffey. Griffey flying to left, hit a sacrifice fly in the second inning, fly to center in the fourth, fly to center in the seventh.
Reds haven't been able to pull Hunter all day long. Not that he's so overpowering, just the fact he's getting the ball in great spots, keeping the ball away, changing speeds, getting him off balance.
Strike one.
Chambliss right on the line down at first base.
Strike two. Boy, it's a shootout right now. He's coming at him. Bouncing ball, Stanley is short. Big hop over to first. Gets by. Into the dugout. Griffey will go to second. Griffey's speed paid off.
I'll tell you, I don't know if Stanley had made a good throw with Griffey's speed if he had him. An ordinary runner, it's an easy out. This guy gets a great jump out. Now as the ball goes by Chambliss, it pops right back out. It did not hit the screen. It hit between the 2 screen areas. There's Griffey. I believe he had it beat out anyways. And probably scored a hit in air.
Well, there's Billy Martin out talking to Catfish Hunter and Thurman Munson.
You got to believe with a right-hander up, first base open, Perez the next hitter. I got to consider walking this little guy. Pitching a dangerous guy. I'd rather face Perez, right-hander against right-hander.
That was scored an error all the way. So Griffey is on at second. Munson moving his defense around. There you see Griffey. Apparently they're going to put him on. Just as you said, Tony. There it is, ball one. It'll be up to Perez. 0-2.
Another example of Griffey just about beating out that base hit. I thought he had it beaten out. Putting pressure on the opposition with speed. Well, his first step out of the box, Marty. He's kind of moving in the direction of first base. Tidrow, the right-hander. Sparky Lyle, the left-hander for the Yankees.
Found out what Morgan can't do. He can't count. Did you see? He stayed in the box. They had to tell him to go to first. Finally found a weakness. Here is Perez now. We're all tied. 3 apiece. Griffey at second base. Morgan is at first. They're worried about Griffey at second base. Base hit, left field. We're going to have a race. Here comes Griffey. Here comes the throw. To
it. 4-3. Tony Perez comes through with a big base hit, a clutch base hit, and look at him mob Perez around first base. Cincinnati on a base hit by Perez. So the final score, 4-3 Cincinnati, and we'll be right back.
That's the thing right there. You can't give them a chance. You give them a chance, they're going to beat you.